Live from Los Angeles, welcome back to Good Morning LaLa, and I'm so excited to welcome Mr. Larry Namer to the show. He is a media icon, co-founder of E!, president of Meton. Thank you so much for being with us this morning.
Always fun to be here.
We know you are up to so many amazing projects, and we get to hear about them at Production Beyond Borders on Monday. Tell us a little bit about it.
Sure. It's an American film market, and it's a panel that really is talking about the changes that have happened in the media and entertainment business, particularly over the last decade, where everything has kind of moved from the U.S. is the only thing that exists in the world to actually a recognition that there's an entire world around us that produces great stuff and is capable of generating films and TV shows that are just loved around the world. It's no longer a Hollywood-based business.
So Larry, obviously, like Justin said, you're an icon. There's not one person that really hasn't seen E! Entertainment. But knowing this, tell us what is happening with the industry. For people that don't really know, we see streaming, we see all these things, we see films going to different industries around the world. Where do you see the industry going?
Well, things have changed, dramatically. I mean, back in the days when we started E!, everything was very linear. It was before digital. And, if you wanted to watch, Seinfeld, you had to go to NBC at a certain time on a certain day. Technology has just changed that. It's democratized the whole process. It's where, people could watch what they want, when they want it, on the device they want it. And, when you think about it, other than news and sports, what do you really need to watch live? So when you look at shows like Seinfeld or whatever, over the course of a week, everybody who wants to watch that show will have the opportunity to watch that show, and then just the cost of producing things. I mean, way back, in the day you needed big cameras and all stuff, and now you need little cameras, and it's it used to be just for an hour of television, it was like $500,000, which kind of made the creative process accessible to very few people who could afford that. Today, if you got a laptop, you could make television. And if you've got a good subject matter and you know how to market and use social influences and stuff like that, you can build a nice following and actually make a business out of it.
What I also think is so exciting, though, is how it really is bridging borders. And we know you work a lot with the Chinese. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. And again, going back when I first started out of college, I worked for Time Inc., the magazine company, and it wasn't even Time Warner. And when we would model out TV projects or TV networks, you would weight them 95% U.S. and then 5% other. You didn't even recognize the countries. It's just the rest of the world is other. These days, when you look at it, it's like 25-30% U.S., and then you actually put China, Russia, UK.
It's like 550 billion people are being born in Southeast Asia.
It's really become where you got to be aware of the fact that there are other markets that are as important as the U.S., if not more important. Now, China by next year will be the largest box office market in the world for theatrical films, and if you're making films and not recognizing that there are other people out there and other interests, you're leaving a lot on the table.
What excites you most about the entertainment business?
Waking up in the morning and just having new ideas. And
maybe not this early. But
this is one of the, actually it's not, because I'm doing, China, and before that I was Russia and stuff. I'm up like at 6, and I get to the countries before they close and stuff like that. And a lot of times my phone calls are at 2 in the morning, and so my sleep patterns are kind of weird. I sleep in like 3-hour
blocks.
Groups.
Really?
It's been written that you are the eye to the Western world for a lot of the Eastern cultures. What is it about you that gives you that special eye and the ability to connect?
Well, the number one, a lot has to do with my upbringing. I grew up in a family. My mother and father were both very working class. We were poor, but we didn't know it. But they were immigrants, and they taught us respect. I mean, and literally would beat respect into you. So when I go into a country, whether it be Russia or China, I kind of treat it like my mother's house. It's like if I go to my mom's house, unfortunately she passed away 2 years ago, You know, and I say, all right, we're going to go for Italian food at 8 o'clock. She goes, no, we're going for deli at 5. I go, no, but I want Italian at 8. And she says, well, in this house, we eat at 5, and we're going to the deli, and if you don't like it, go stay in a hotel. Which is kind of the way I treat countries, is like, just pay attention. Yeah, I mean, you're a guest in someone's house, and, you know, act like one.
So well
It is
said.
so important to sort of recognize and appreciate that cultural gap and differences, I think.
Yeah, and you know, you look at, you know, particularly what's going on in the U.S. today and stuff like that. You know, I mean, we're a nation of immigrants. I mean, we wouldn't all be here if it wasn't for, you know, broad, you know, I'm not saying open the borders, but, you know, broad-based immigration policy that allows all kinds of people coming in, not just the geniuses, but, you know.
For sure. So
Absolutely.
give a glimpse for people out there that don't know what AFI is. What is that?
AFM.
AFM is
AFM,
American
sorry,
Film
AFI
Market,
on here.
and it's kind of a misnomer because it's people all over the world come and a lot of independent films. So it's not necessarily so much the studio films, which everybody kind of knows what they are, but there are, you know, literally hundreds of films made every year that are made small budget and very focused audiences, and this is a place where everybody gets together, the buyers, the sellers, the creators. Everybody goes to AFM with their script, and they're looking for financing and stuff. So it's really vibrant and exciting to
So what are
to
the
be there.
odds for somebody that comes in, they got a screw up? It's kind of like winning the lottery ticket, or is it that bad odds? Or
They're not terribly good. But, you know, again, the cost of making things now has come down so much that a lot of people, you know, you could finance some of these projects almost on a friends and family basis, where you could make a reasonably good movie, particularly in the horror, you know, that kind of stuff, for a few $100,000. You don't need millions and millions of dollars to make movies now.
It's pretty
That gives
incredible.
so many people so much hope. I know a lot of people who are in the filmmaking realm, and they're trying to do it independently. And, you know, before, we were blocked by the studio execs, and it wasn't accessible, but the ability to create that magic on minimal budget is spectacular. It's a new opportunity.
Yeah, and also, you know, this whole thought that, you know, making a theatrical film and being in a movie theater is the be-all and end-all. It's really not. I mean, you could do a 2-minute piece that plays on cell phones that has as much effect on people's lives than, you know, than that feature film did.
So well said.
So, and a lot of people just can't accept it. And when I see groups of filmmakers, they're like, well, I want my movie to be in the movie theater. And I'm like, why? You know, I can get it on a digital platform tomorrow, but I can get it on into a movie theater never. Pick one. No. I'm a movie maker and I need to be in the theater. You don't need to be in the
So
theater.
speaking of that, the younger generations, where do you see them consuming the most content?
Well, it's clearly online. I mean, you know, and particularly it's exaggerated in China, where, you know, everybody under 40, 100% of the media consumption is happening in the digital world online. And it's moved, actually, people don't even use their laptops anymore. I mean, it's moved almost entirely to cell phones and stuff, even to the point where when I'm producing there, we've had to change the way we do production, because you can't, you know, you used to sit in an edit room with a big 50-inch TV and stuff like that, and then you go, wait a second, people are watching it on this little thing. So we've actually moved it so, like, final edit happens on a cell phone as opposed to a TV set.
Wow.
So at least you're seeing it the way people are going to see it.
That's incredible.
We know you're working on some very fun projects. Are there any that you can share with us?
Monday we're going to announce a big movie, but I can't tell you yet.
Okay, what a tease.
And it's really one of those cross-border projects and stuff that really takes in, you know, all the things I've been focused on for a while. We're doing a big series now for the U.S. called Explore China, which is really this look at China pretty much through my eyes. It always amazes me, and you know, I go to China and then I come back after a few weeks, and my friends who are supposed to be reasonably sophisticated, they go, "Oh, where do you want to eat? You must be starving." I'm like, why would I be starving? And they go, well, you know, you were in China for 3 weeks. I go, do you think they have no food? And they go, no, but you had like 3 weeks of Chinese food. I'm going, you have no concept of the fact that Shanghai is now, next to New York, is probably the best food city in the world. I mean, so there's this whole part of China that nobody knows and nobody sees. So it's really this 20-part series that's exploring that. Interestingly enough, the host of it is a guy that worked for me way back in the day on Talk Soup, a guy named Hal Sparks. So Hal is hosting it, and Hal, strangely enough, speaks Mandarin. At
Perfect.
6 years old, he taught himself Mandarin because he loved martial arts and Bruce Lee and stuff like that, and he's pretty good. But the show's in English, and it's really designed for an American audience to see this side of a country that's doing some amazing things that people just are not aware of.
So exciting.
What would you say your secret to success has been?
Either not being smart enough to know when to get out, or just pure stubbornness and saying, I can't fail. I mean, for me, my choice is I'm going to go back to Brooklyn and be a fireman. I mean, that's what all my friends did. I can't do that.
Totally. Love it.
I love that.
Persistence.
Well, you've touched all of our lives with so much entertainment for sure. We're looking forward to all of your projects moving forward.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much.
Larry. And congratulations on the new project. We're going to keep our eyes and ears open on Monday.
You will.
Stay tuned. We'll be back with more on Good Morning La La Land.